Okay, so now this is basically the graphical use of graphical user interface for import and export. And in many cases, especially if we're talking about small imports and exports and creation of tables and so on and so forth, you are better off using the graphical user interface. So in here, what we are going to do is we are going to again continue with our export. And if I wanted to export the entire database, then I can just click on export over here, and then it is giving you a choice of exporting all of these tables or just some of these tables and so on. So I can just create, I can just say I want to only export a couple of these right here, and then there are a few other options that we have. We use that MySQL dump command in the previous video, which was basically a simplest version of creating the backup. But here I can pick up tables that I want. I can add a few things in there, that is add if not exists in there. I don't know if you remember, but if we have what it does is it before creating a new table, it dumps the existing one, that is drops the existing one, and so on. So here, and then we can say that it's we want to generate SQL. My apologies again. I want to make sure that it is reasonably visible in the video, so I have kept this particular window small. So if I just say go, then it's going to give me this particular option. Do you want to save this as CS447701? I'm going to just say, yeah, sure, why not? So I'm going to just say temp, though I'll add temp before that, and then it will create that particular table for me. It's going to be essentially similar to what we have seen before, so I'm not going to waste time opening that, because that would mean I have to switch the windows in this particular podcast. But it looks essentially same as what we got from MySQL DB. Okay, so that's how we can export the entire database. If you wanted to just export a single table, so let's say, for example, if I wanted to export customer names, I'll just go in there and I'm going to just say export. There are only 10 rows in there. So in this particular case, again, I do have a choice, and by default it's going to export this as SQL. But if I wanted to export that as a CSV, that is the comma separated values, for Microsoft Excel, for example, you can have it specifically for Microsoft Excel, or you could just say CSV. That's the general CSV. As soon as I pick that, it gives me a whole bunch of possibilities. That is, do you want to terminate the field by semicolon? I could just add a comma after that if I wanted. Then it will put quotes around it if you want, or you could choose not to have anything, and so on and so forth. So there are many options that I can use, and then I can just say, okay, go ahead. So I just change that to comma, and maybe I don't want those double quotes in there, right? Sometimes it makes for an ugly file. Okay, and I will just say go. It's giving me the option. It's a Microsoft Office Excel comma separated values file. I'll just save it, and then I have a file called customernames.csv. I can open that using variety of different applications, including a spreadsheet program, or I could also import that into the current current database. So let's do a few more things with this particular file. It is so this customer names, I'll browse through it. It has 10 10 rows. I can empty those if I want using this particular command, or I can go to the database, and then I have two options. I can the first option is the garbage can that is shown, that basically gets rid of all the records and leaves an empty table. If I use the red option there, then it's going to just completely get rid of that particular table. So why don't I use the empty option and then get rid of all the records? So it's saying, oh, like it's telling you what command is going to use, and the command is going to be truncate customers. I say, yeah, sure, why not? And it is it has truncated that particular table. Customer names, there will not be anything left in there. So if I tried to if I went back to CS447701, and if I look at the number of records that I have in there, there are 0 records in there. Okay, I can I'm just going to quickly show you how I can export something into that particular table. So I'll just click on that. I'll just go since there was nothing in there, it wouldn't let me browse. So I'm just going to go and look at the structure. It has 3 different parameters, and now if I wanted to import some information back in here, I can just use the old file that I did create. So I'm going to choose the file that I just now created, customer names, and what did we have in there? So I've chosen that file. The maximum allowed is 50 megabytes. It's a CSV file. Now I have 2 options. I can use CSV or I can use CSV using load data. If I use CSV, then it's going to add 1 record at a time. Load data is more efficient in many cases. It brings in a whole lot of records in a single shot. So here what I'm going to do is, remember I did not use semicolon to separate the files, and I did not use the double quotes to put the data in one field. So I have gotten rid of all of those, and now I'm just going to say go, and it successfully executed that query. Let's just have a look at this particular table just to see if we have those 10 records back in there. As we can see now, those records are back in there. So what we have seen here is how to export the entire database if you want, how to export a single table as a CSV if you want, or we also found out how to truncate, or that is empty the entire table. And now the last thing I'm going to show you is, oh, actually might as well show a few additional things that you can do in here. That is, if you wanted to edit a particular record, we could just go in there and change some of the values in that particular record. So we could just add Lauren Ellen. I don't know why I want to do that, of course, but let's say if I wanted to change it, I could just go ahead and make that change, and then I just have to make sure that it does not, I'm not clicking the wrong key, but if I just say go, then hopefully that particular name was changed. So let's just go ahead and have a look at that first record that we had, which now the name is Lauren Ellen instead of just Lauren that we had before. If I wanted, I can also get rid of a particular record right from here. Just say delete. So you can see it's saying delete from, it's telling you what query is going to give, especially when you're doing something destructive, it is going to warn you. So I'm just going to say okay, and now I only have 9 records in my, as you can see here, showing rows 0 to 8. So that means there are only 9 records in my table. And the first record, which was Lauren Ellen Max something, and that is gone. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just show you how you can drop the entire table right from the MySQL interface. So here, if I just click on that one, it's going to drop the table. We saw this in the command line version. So again, it's in the drop table customer names. Do you really want to do that? Whenever you are destructing, it gives you that, ask you for that warning. It's saying, okay, I did it. It's no longer there. And if you look at the database again, then you will see customer names is gone. So here are some of the things that you can do with the database from the MySQL. That is, we have exported entire database using SQL. We have exported a single table using CSV. We have emptied a table. We have dropped a table. We have imported a CSV file into a table, and we have also edited individual records from a table. I think that's a pretty tall order for a single video. So I'm going to stop now.